There is a problem with this Mavic.
But a lot of the Mavics are coming from DJI with inherent problems.
For sure there's some kind of problem here.
Now, why is it that everybody that I know who owns a DJI Mavic here in China has had problems straight out of the factory with them? First, we're going to go to the Jayoe Nation, my friend up in Ningbo who does, you know, daily vlogs and so on. He has 3 Mavics. The reason he's got 3 is when something goes wrong and he still needs a Mavic, he goes and buys a new one. But I'll let him go and explain everything to you right now.
Hey guys, Matthew with the Jayoe Nation. I film semi-daily videos about my life in China. I use cameras, but I also use a series of drones. As a matter of fact, I've had a Phantom 2, a Phantom 3, professional, and I've had 3 Mavics. One of them is missing here because it actually crashed into a river because I flew it backwards into a bridge. I think that a lot of the problems that people have with the Mavics these days are production problems at DJI. I think that if you get a really well put together Mavic, you're not going to have a lot of problems. But a lot of the Mavics are coming from DJI with inherent problems. And the reason I know that is because the first drone I had, the one that I crashed into the bridge, worked perfectly. This was one of the first drones that came off the line at DJI. They had a lot of time to perfect and produce and assemble these drones before they delivered them to the stores. So when I got it from a friend of mine that owns a DJI store, I had one of the best assembled drones that they were delivering at the time. The second drone I got after I crashed the Mavic into the river was during a period of time that they were backlogged, and the demand for these drones was so high that it couldn't keep up with production. And I think what happened is DJI started really trying to put these things together to get them out, and they made a lot of mistakes. This drone in particular had a really frustrating problem where it would fly, and as it was recording, it would every 10 seconds or so have a jitter in the image. And if you know about flying drones, you know this is a really big problem because we want to have a long, smooth shot to deal with in post-production. So this drone was giving me only like 5 or 10 good seconds, and then every 5 or 10 seconds it would give me this jitter. I had to cut it out of the video. I did send it into DJI, and when it was in DJI, they fixed the problem, but now it came back with a new problem. And this drone actually now experiences a problem where when I fly it, the image slowly rocks back and forth, left to right, and it just really slowly rocks. I'm in the process of trying to diagnose that issue right now. This third one is my newest Mavic, and this one I got because I rescued the Mavic from the river about a month after I crashed it, and I didn't think I was going to find it, and so when I put it into DJI, they said it was a loss, but they gave me a discount on a new one. So this is my newest Mavic, and this one comes with the least amount of problems. So that's why I feel like DJI has some problems with some batches. This one, I think they were over the hump of that high production overload, and now they're kind of getting more into the zone of being able to take some time and put these things together a little bit more meticulously and with a little bit more attention. I think that the takeaway here is that not all Mavics are created equal, and if you do have problems with your Mavic, you might just have a lemon. You might just have one with problems, and that really good Mavics do exist. It's just there's problem batches within their production runs. At least that's my takeaway.
Now the next person we're going to go to is my friend up in Shanghai. He has a YouTube channel which isn't actually very popular, but he's incredibly popular here in mainland China on Chinese video websites. And he has a channel called Raising Shanghai where he follows his daughter and films her doing everyday things like going to museums and things like that. He has a mixed daughter, of course, because he's married to a Chinese. Go show him a little love, links up in the corner. Anyway, let's go over to Primo from Raising Shanghai and see what he has to say.
Hey everybody, this is M Primo from Raising Shanghai. I bought a DJI Mavic Pro about 2 weeks ago. I'm standing in the middle of a road. Some people keep driving through here, so I'm looking around just to make sure I don't get run over by a car. Anyway, I bought a DJI Mavic Pro about 2 weeks ago, and I've only been able to take it about 20 feet in the air. And as soon as I let off the sticks going up, it starts coming right back down again. We are near a no-fly zone, but my flight should still be restricted to 50 meters. It goes about 10 feet, maybe 20 feet. and then it starts coming back down again. And even if even if that is the case, I should be able to let off the sticks and it should hover right where it is. So let me just show you one more time here. Up and down again. I will say it lands pretty good. It's had a lot of practice landing. So anyway, we took it to Ningbo, far away from everything. My friend has two DJI Mavic Pros, and I mean, they're literally right next to each other. And he had no problem. There was no flight zone, anything. Same problem, no matter which mode you use, it just goes up and wants to come right back down again. A full battery, full controller, everything should be working. I am in a no-fly zone, but I should be able to go to 50 meters high without it coming down. And when it goes up, it should hover where I let it go. But instead, it keeps trying to land itself. So for sure, there's some kind of problem here. If anyone else is having this problem, leave it in the comments. Let us know. Yeah, so this afternoon, I'm going to take it in, and they're going to look at it and hopefully either replace it or fix this problem, because it would be awesome to fly.
So now what's wrong with this one? I'm going to explain to you. It's actually something very dangerous. Now bear in mind, these are consumer products, right? This is something that you go and buy from a shop. Your average Joe can go and buy it, right? And you expect it to come out of the box and you should be able to fly it without any hassles. You know, maybe you read the manual on how to charge it, set it up, take off, and that kind of thing. And this thing was behaving totally fine. You put it down on the ground, takes off, hovers there, no problem. But this thing actually has a very dangerous intermittent problem. And what was happening was, it would get GPS lock on the ground, it would take off and hover and it would be fine. But intermittently it would lose its GPS lock. And this wasn't environment depending. I mean, like, it could be in a park, it could be hovering there and then just suddenly lose its GPS lock. It could be between buildings, doesn't matter. The environment didn't change, but it was losing GPS lock. Now that's okay, because you see, these are really interesting and very complicated devices. They've got compasses, they've got accelerometers, they've got all sorts of different sensors inside to keep them hovering. So when the GPS lock disappears, it relies on its internal IMU in order to keep flying and keep hovering where it is. But as soon as this particular one was losing its GPS satellite lock, it would all of a sudden and very rapidly go off to the right and back at high speed. And that's incredibly dangerous. I mean, think about it. If you've got it at eye level, hovering there, and suddenly it loses GPS lock, it could just go directly into someone, could slice someone's face, you know, a child, anything like that. Also, if it's high up in the air and it suddenly goes off to the side and to the left, it could hit a building or something, fall down on someone's head. And this is China, there are people everywhere, so there's a high possibility that it could injure someone. I fixed the problem. What it was the IMU had to be manually calibrated. So in other words, it came out from the factory with a badly calibrated IMU. And what that means is, you know, you go into the very advanced settings of the app and it tells you to sort of lay it on its side, then lay it like this, lay it like, etc., etc. But the fact that it came from the factory, a consumer product that someone's just going to take out of the box, they don't tell you that in the manual. It doesn't say anywhere in the manual, make sure that your IMU is calibrated, make sure that your accelerometers are reading the correct data, because that's what was wrong. One of the accelerometers was feeding a value, and so as soon as it lost GPS, it was trusting its accelerometers, and those were not calibrated correctly, so it was going off in the middle of nowhere. Dangerous and poor quality control. So basically, what I'm trying to say here is all of my friends who own these, including myself, feel as if we're beta testers or beta testers debugging a product that's supposed to be, a fully developed product out on the market. My advice, if you do buy one of these things, if you buy it from a store, in store, please let the person there in the store set it up for you. Make sure everything's calibrated. Give it a test flight, make sure everything's okay, and then when you're happy with it, take it. if you buy it online and it arrives at your door, make sure that you don't just do the basic stuff, go into all the advanced menus, calibrate the IMU, most important. You might want to also recalibrate your control sticks, because that's also another option. And another thing with this one, from the factory, it came with the gimbal was not correctly calibrated either, and the gimbal roll was incorrect, so the horizon was skew. This is really, really frustrating. So I basically had to do what's supposed to be done in the factory, which is to calibrate the IMU, calibrate the gimbal, calibrate the controller, calibrate everything. Now it works fine, but that was really hairy and really, really dangerous. So guys, it's still a fantastic product. Just bear in mind that I have a feeling two things have led to this issue. Number one, GoPro was about to release the Karma drone, so DJI rushed to get this out first. And of course, the GoPro Karma had the same problem, and both suffered as a result. The Karma is now recalled and has a whole lot of problems. This still has a lot of problems, and that's why. Number two, I know how things work here in China. They had a huge demand and not enough supply, so in order to, hasten things and pump these things out, I'm pretty sure they made a decision to just not do proper quality control, get them out of the door, and basically deal with the returns later. Hope you found this video interesting, guys. Still a cool product, but yeah, it's not mine. I'm borrowing it from my friend Brown Eye, by the way. Still prefer the Phantom 4. Never had to calibrate that thing's IMU. That's it for this one, guys. Thank you for watching, and you know the drill. As always, stay awesome.